Hi and welcome to this episode of Zeitgeist podcast with Niklas and Flo. Hi, I'm Niklas.
Hi, I'm Flo.
Today we're going to talk about collecting things, and I think we all have collected something in our lifetime. It's quite amazing. I don't know, what's your latest things that you are looking at?
I just started recently collecting One Piece trading card game cards. I don't know. I remember back in the 90s, I loved to collect Pokémon cards, and it's basically the same thing, but different artworks. And it seems that it's a quite new game. It's 2 years old, but I think we're just at the beginning, and this could be like the next big wave. I just realized a few weeks ago I was at Target, which is basically like the Rewe, the Edeka of the US. And I was actually looking for like like a sports pants, stuff like this. And I saw that more and more people were like basically lining up in front of the register. And I was not quite sure what's going on. And then I just realized that they are restocking some special Pokemon cards or something. And then at the end, 50 people were like in line to get these new cards. And after that, I did some research, and now I feel that Pokemon is still a big thing in the US. Like if something is restocked at Costco or something and you get like the big boxes, people are going nuts over this. Obviously, you can make a lot of money with them in resale. So I guess a lot of these people are not even fans. They just buy it and try to sell it online. Yeah, it's still a huge thing. And after I started my collecting of the One Piece cards, I was a little bit worried if that is like the first sign of a midlife crisis or something like this. And I asked ChatGPT, and now I'm way more calmer because all these collectibles or collecting in general is a good thing. It calms you down. You have like little success stories. You have like some purpose on a short notice. Basically, you don't have to work like a year to get something solved. You can just collect something here and there and just be in a good mood, basically, and it doesn't hurt anyone. My auntie, she was collecting owls, I believe, and when she died, she had like over 7,000 different kinds of owls, like little figures, little plush toys, stuff like this. So I guess it's in our blood, basically, that people just love to collect stuff.
I
How about
think
you?
that's, yeah, for me as well. I think I collect surfboards currently. I have a lot of surfboards, but
Yeah. How many do you have? I always thought that people just need one.
yeah, maybe, I don't know, more than 20, definitely.
Wow.
I need to count them, to be honest. I haven't
They
counted
have
them
like
in a bit.
different kind of I don't know, purposes, different
Yeah.
skill sets, stuff like this.
Yeah, so it's not, when I was young, I did competitive windsurfing a lot. So I still have a few windsurf boards, even though I don't do that much anymore. I think like 3 maybe. And then I have a few kiteboards just for kite surfing, also like 3 or 4 or something. And then I have a lot of surfboards, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, you need different boards for different situations. And then over the time, I tended to just buy new ones. And if I like them, I don't really get rid of them. So they are sitting. I have a very nice shelf in the flat I live in, like in the place, where a few of them are sitting. But it's like, yeah, I think it's the same kind of. It's just, I've sold
I'm
like
not
1 or
happy that
2.
my One Piece cards are just small. I can put them in
Yeah.
a somewhere in the folder, but with 20 surfboards, I guess you definitely need some space for that.
Yeah, sure. But I also, I like to surf. So I obviously use them. I take different ones when I would go like to the North Sea. They really ride differently. So I would take different ones on different trips. And also when I fly to other places, I would pick the boards according to the conditions. So most of them go used. And then I have a few, like 2 or 3 that are really like more like memorability. Yes, at this point in time. So they're just some old boards that I learned to surf on and that you would kind of keep around, and maybe if at all you give them to somebody as a gift or something. Like, I would never sell these boards. I think for me it's just nice to keep them. So yeah, that's probably like the classical way of collecting things, I would say.
Yeah. A few years ago, I collected shoes, sneakers was a big thing. I guess there's always something. The next type is always coming.
Yeah, and sneakers I also still have a few, like even I think boxed sneakers, but these days I would keep them to wear them. I would just not unbox them before I would actually wear them.
Yeah,
Still have a
makes sense.
few of these Yeezys by the original ones.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they are still trendy, but I mean, you see them
I could
from
check
time
on
to time.
StockX. Probably not, by far not on the level that they were at when they were at the highest. But I mean, they are not produced anymore, right? So
Yeah, wait 10 more years, maybe they have some value then.
they probably have some value now, right? Wait, check. I'm curious. I mean, look, I mean, these ones did trade at 350 euros, and I bought them for 200, I think it was. So they are like
Still good.
one
I mean, at the
1.5x
end,
still.
you have to check how much you really receive, because StockX is getting a big chunk of the commission, obviously.
Yeah,
You have taxes and all the different things mixed up in this total. So I guess if you really look into what you're getting, it's not that much on top of maybe what you paid.
yeah, that might be true. I don't know. I don't want to sell them actually. I bought the Yeezys. I bought them because I liked that they were this slip-on. I just really like wearing them, to be honest. So I bought them to wear them actually, and that's also why I keep them. Otherwise, I would have sold them. But I've always liked they are quite comfortable shoes, to be honest. For me, I think, as sneakers.
Yep, yeah.
So yeah. So maybe I'll grab a few more when they become really cheap on StockX. Yeah, but cards, so Pokemon cards, and you are fully hooked now. So how many do you have?
I don't know how many. I would say something around 500, maybe. I don't know. For me, it's not just collecting. I also like to play the actual game. This is what I did back in the days with the Pokemon cards. So, I guess that's the interesting part about these cards, that probably the same thing with sneakers, right? So you can definitely collect them just for have the feeling of you getting more and more, but you also can use them. In this case, you can play with other players. I'm in a couple of different Facebook groups, so you can meet with other players. You can trade cards. You can play with other people. So I guess that's a lot of fun. And for me, it's still some kind of new. So I just started like 1 or 2 months ago. With almost every booster pack I'm opening, there's definitely something I didn't have. So I guess it's a cool thing. So I hope at some point that more and more of my friends are also getting on this train, so that I can trade with them. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a lot of with cards, especially, right, and the community thing around it. So, are you already? Are you playing with your daughter also? So she's into these cards as well, right?
Yeah. She likes more the Pokemon cards, but also gets an idea about One Piece. I've never really watched the show in the 90s when it came like after school, in the after school program. For me, it came just with the live action TV show on Netflix that I really liked the whole idea behind One Piece. I like the characters, the different arcs of the characters. So that's when I gave the anime a new chance, and now I really like the anime too. And I don't know if you know that, but there are like over 1,000 episodes. So I'm still pretty much at the beginning of the whole show, and yeah, it's definitely a cool thing because with anime, I don't know if just German TV sold us this as a like a kids program more or less, but it is really adult oriented, sometimes quite hard for, I would say, kids to really understand what's the meaning behind all the different things, what happens in the show. So if you didn't have a chance, I definitely would give it a try.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but I also remember The Simpsons, right? And I would also not say that they are for children, for example. I think there's a lot of quite deep content in them.
Yep, yep.
So, and when I think about these cards, did you also play Magic in school? That's what I remember then.
No, I always knew that Magic is around, and I like that even Magic has a lot of different collaboration nowadays. I see that there is something going on with Avatar. A few months ago, when I was at the New York Comic Con, I saw that there's a collaboration with the Ninja Turtles. I'm a big fan of, but I never really give it a try because for me it feels always that Magic is like really complicated, tough to get in, really time primitive. You need a lot of money to get basically the right cards to play with, stuff like this. I have a friend, he is playing competitive, like on championship, stuff like this. I don't know. For me, every time when I'm talking to him, it doesn't feel like I should give it a try. I don't know. Maybe in a few years, who knows? But not at the moment.
Yeah, so I played it in school, obviously, because I think that was really a community thing. You play it with your friends and you buy cards as well. Like, I would say typical viral marketing done right. I think Magic really did a lot of things right on marketing. And then you obviously started buying cars, and I remember I just had it bought like a really large amount used, basically for not that much money. And I think I sold them later on as well. It was actually fun. I
That's
mean,
the
we
thing.
weren't.
I mean, that's probably the same thing with the Pokemon cards. I bought a bulk a package of Pokemon cards for my daughter because she just likes the cute little Pokemons. So she doesn't really care which one is strong and which one you can play and all this stuff. So I guess it's the same with Magic. If you really want to play competitive, you need the right cards. To get them, you have to pay a lot of money on eBay or just need a lucky hand when you're opening booster boxes.
Magic, actually, it was like, I don't know, we were all school children, so our money was obviously limited anyway, so we didn't have the best cards. I think if you have somebody kind of plays competitively and has like a really, really strong deck, then it's probably very tough. But for us, I mean, we were kind of all on the same level. Our cards weren't that great. Usually we would just grab, like, as I said, I bought a really large stack, and basically we would just take from these cards basically and
Yeah.
just assemble a deck to play with and so on. We didn't pay that much attention. I know that you can get into it, can spend a lot of time to get into it, but it's actually, I remember that it was quite fun. I haven't played it in 20 years, but when I go back, I remember that we also collected these and we talked about it a lot. And it was actually very fun and a very
Yeah.
nice community around
Good
it.
times, definitely. I like what with these cards, all the different ecosystems built it around. I've been a few weeks ago in Miami to a card shop, which is a big shop just with different cards. And the biggest chunk of cards is not Pokemon or Magic, it was sports cards. I mean, I have no clue at all about sports cards. I see them from time to time because they are on the same shelf than the Pokemon cards and Magic cards and all this stuff. But I would say this is also like a totally different world. And then I saw another guy at GameStop buying like a big box and a still sealed sports card, paid $250 for that. I don't know. I'm not sure if you can play with these cards or if that is just collectibles. But I think this is really interesting. And then you have people who let them their cards grade. Like, I don't know, you saw that probably. You have like single cards in these kind of plastic boxes, and it gives you like some kind of a note in which condition the card is. which pumps up the value of a single card. You heard about probably, what is this one Paul brother's name? Not Jake, the other one.
Logan.
Logan, yeah, he got this one Pokemon card with the Charizard, I believe is his English name. The dragon. And this one is graded, and because the card is so rare, it's like millions of dollars in value. And you can basically do the same thing with definitely with One Piece cards. I see them all the time on Facebook, but I'm pretty sure that you can do the same thing with sports card, Pokemon cards, Magic cards, and whatever.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think, this whole collecting stuff, please write into the comments what you guys like to collect. I think we'll definitely continue on this topic. This was this episode of Zeitgeist Podcast. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.